Hello everybody and welcome once again to The Brink, and we are back because we haven't been on air for how many?
Excuse me?
What?
I get to say The Brink.
Oh, sorry. Hello everyone and welcome back to the...
No, you don't say that.
Hello everyone and welcome back to...
The Brink.
Thank you.
That's what we always do.
There's so many voices in my head.
Literally what we always do.
Well, we haven't done it in like 3 years, so I forget what we're doing. Welcome back. Yes, that's Mallory. She's on the floor. That's where she lives. And we also have special guests joining us this week. The #1 radio stars in all of Southland, because they were on the radio once and now apparently they're stars. It is Jamie and Summer. Sup?
Hello.
Kia ora.
Look at you sounding so New Zealand. It's so nice. Hey, Summer, what's the name of that show that you liked? What was it, like Fun Life on My Dick?
Fuck off.
What was it? Life on the
Sweet
Dick?
Life on Dick.
Sweet
Life on Dick.
Sweet Life on Dick.
Fuck you.
That's
man.
Deck, everyone. Summer and Jamie are from New Zealand, so you'll hear Nick on this episode. He's also from New Zealand. And we just thought we would chat and talk about stuff. Mallory, we decided not to do this for a while because we thought we'd get real people on the show. Is that why?
Yes, that's the correct answer.
You have a big foot in your mouth, foot face, basically.
I'm like falling asleep. I'm very not concerned.
Yeah, she's falling asleep.
If you fall asleep, Mallory, give me your microphone.
I'll be sure to remember.
We're just going to talk about stuff today on the show. We're going to ask you some questions that might be inappropriate for children, but that doesn't matter.
Hyped.
I'm so ready for this.
You're so ready for this?
Let's get weird.
So Mallory and I basically only have 20 more of these to answer. We'll have to answer them a separate time because I'll just have to choose some random ones for you to ask. But I asked you this on the radio this week about living in Invercargill, right? You were very diplomatic about your answers, I
Very
thought.
anti-Invercargill.
Yeah. Now give us the truth. Like, how much do you hate it here?
Dude, Invercargill is very racist and very homophobic.
Very racist and homophobic
Yeah.
at the same time?
Yes.
Like, do they see someone of colour and of a different sexual orientation and bring out, like, the meat cleavers and stuff like that?
If there's one thing I hate more than gays and blacks, it's gay blacks.
What about gay black disabled people?
Don't fucking get me started, Ben.
What about gay black disabled Jewish people who are transgender?
You know what? We've gone deep enough down this rabbit hole that I'm sort of... My eyes are opening. No, it's not all that bad, but there are a lot of people who I guess are stuck in a traditional mindset, very conservative mindset. Just because when you're down here in this very isolated area of New Zealand, which is isolated in itself really, you don't get to come across a lot of enlightened opinions. You know what I mean?
And what I find fascinating about you, Mr. Jamie, what's your last name? Colvin.
Richard.
We're just going to chuck that out on the
Fuck
podcast.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Jamie Colvin, everyone.
Yep, Jamie Colvin.
His address is this place in Invercargill. You mentioned that you've never been further north than Christchurch.
No. I have. So, furthest north, I guess, technically would be Brisbane.
Oh, so you have been to Australia?
So, the Sunshine Coast. Yeah, no, what I was saying
The Sunshine
is...
Coast is not Brisbane. Sorry.
Like... No, but it's north, is it not?
It's north of Brisbane.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, well, you would have flown into Brisbane to get to the Sunshine Coast.
Yes.
Sorry, Jamie, please.
My arms got quite tired.
Talk.
Sorry.
From swimming to the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah. No, you've completely lost my train of thought.
Welcome to the Brink. This is what happens all the time.
No, so I've been to Nelson when I was younger, but in like recent times, Christchurch is the furthest north.
Okay.
And it's a lot more progressive. I mean, you've got a university up there, you've got a lot more students, you've just got a lot more people from all over the world with a lot more world experience.
You know what I find fascinating about your beautiful country is that...
The Cares?
Yes. You have Auckland, right? Big city.
Yes.
Big city.
Kind of a shithole from what I hear.
I don't mind Auckland, but I like cities.
Yep,
So,
okay.
But then you have your next biggest city, Wellington. Used to be Christchurch, but then the earthquake happened. Now it's Wellington.
Yep.
It's really not that big of a city. Like Australia, you've got Sydney's big, Melbourne's big, Brisbane's big, Adelaide's pretty decent size, Perth's decent
okay.
size. But like, it's just the discrepancy between the big and the small in this country is huge. It's just like Auckland and that's it. To me, what you would name other cities in this country would be a regional city in Australia.
A town.
Well, I mean, Dunedin is considered a city.
No, I don't mean to alarm you, Ben, but there is a cat on your table.
Yeah, he can get away with it for once. He knows when he gets away with this. Dunedin's considered a city, a major city, yet Hobart, where I'm from, which is considered a very small city in Australia, is bigger than Dunedin, which is crazy to me, because Mallory's been to both. She's actually really asleep, I think, right now. I think you should give Summer the microphone, I think.
Make a noise.
Do you want to talk at all on this? I don't think she does. All right. Summer, you've got the microphone. Say hello. Say goodbye.
Bye.
There you go. The beauty of this show is that we can say whatever we want and we can change topic, because we always change topic, because
Okay.
the history of this show...
I have a mic.
I want you to talk about something, Summer. You said before we recorded that you've got lots of shit to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
So come on, give me a topic.
The helicopter penis topic.
The helicopter penis topic.
Oh,
Jamie.
Yes.
So, Jamie, I just want to say, one time, the time I went skinny dipping, I dared the dude to sit on top of the table and to wiggle his dick around like a helicopter, because I've always wanted to see it, and he had a small dick and he still did it. So I have full faith that Jamie's story that he told today was true, because you can do it with small dicks as well.
Just outing Jamie as having a small penis. So good.
If I'm being honest, helicopter dick, I don't mean you put your hand around it and you sort of wave it around.
You got to do it without
helicopter
hands.
dick is full pelvic movement. It's like
it's really not that hard.
No, it's really not.
Like, it's hard when it's hard, but it's when it's floppy.
Yeah, I mean when it's hard, there's not a lot of movement at all.
But you
Things
can then
rigid.
squeeze your anal sphincter, and then your dick can move up and down.
Yes. No, and girls always seem surprised. They're like, "Whoa, didn't expect it to move."
It is really, really insane. Especially like if you're just sitting on them and you just feel a little.
Can I just make a suggestion? I'm not doing this to display fellatio.
Yep.
It's to move the microphone closer to your mouth.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hi.
How you going?
So, out of curiosity, what do you do to display fellatio? While we're on the topic,
This show really turned a different direction.
I'm sorry, but I had a microphone.
you knew
and now I have
exactly
so
what you were
much.
getting into when you invited us to.
100%.
I can't wait to ask these questions, because I feel like everyone's going to be honest.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay.
We'll get to them in a minute. This is the introduction. I want to just get people to get to know you. They're getting a vibe of this sort of stuff.
Hey,
So
yeah.
you've been
Wonderful.
sitting on that all night, Summer. You've just been dying to ask Jamie about helicopter penis.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's a discussion we haven't talked about.
But
And
it's-
I also
it's-
wanted to wonder if you had done it and if Mallory has seen it.
No, I have not.
I've done the sphincter thing.
Feel free
This
to
is
display
quick.
it.
Every
Yeah.
guy's done a
Well, I
helicopter
didn't know if
dick
Mallory's mum listens to this
private.
one, but she doesn't, so it's fine.
in private. Every guy's helicoptered his dick.
Absolutely.
At the urinal, I've not done a helicopter dick while pissing at a urinal.
You know,
that would be slightly too much.
There's a urinal. There's a bar in Hobart where the urinal is one of those two-way glass mirrors.
Oh, I see.
So-
So you see everybody from.
So when
The
we
outside.
pee, it's like a window. It looks like
Oh,
a window.
thank fuck.
But on the other side,
Oh,
it's
God.
the mirror. So what you do is you go into the alley and you just stand there and you laugh and point to, make
I was
them think
extremely
you can
worried
see.
that you'd be pissing looking in a mirror and there's people on the other side staring at you. I was just like,
That's an Invercargill thing.
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Just on urinals, though,
Yes.
I am not a urinal fan. I said that on the radio tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
To put that into context for Mallory and Summer, could you imagine going to the toilet, sitting down, right? Going to town, getting your ho-hoo or whatever we called it out before,
Oda hula.
Hoo-hoo.
and having
Ho-hoo. people
people just sit next to you pissing. Would you be fine with that? I mean, you piss everywhere, Summer, so I'm sure it's fine with you. But
Yeah, I do. I prefer to squat outside. So there's no.
there's
thing.
no protect. Literally,
I
where you
would
were sitting
feel-
on a seat, and Jamie is another woman. You both have your pants around, and,
And
you're both
you're the
pissing.
only one, everyone else strangers.
You just
That's pretty fucking weird.
So that's
But
what
everyone
guys
is
have to
pissing
do.
at the same time.
Yeah, but you just look at each other like.
But as guys, we have to literally whip it out, not helicopter it.
Whereas
whip-
girls, if we just sit down, you don't really see the whole thing.
Exactly. You have walls
Yeah.
between you. That's why, personally, I will only use a urinal, if it's busy. If I'm in an empty toilet, public toilet, I will go into a cubicle and close the door. I'll stand up. I know people who sit down and pee. Good for them. But I don't. I still stand up. But I just... Urinals, just no.
Now let's on this urinal thing. Urinal etiquette. Is it okay to glance?
No.
No, not even like a quick. Oh,
No.
I hear that if there's 5 empty cuticles in a row and somebody comes and stands directly beside you, it's seen
It's-
as very weird.
no, it's a power move.
Power move.
You see this dude. So look, I'm almost 6 foot, but I'm relatively slim. If I see this dude's 6'6", built like a brick shit house, he's huge. He would dick anybody. And I see him pissing. Stand beside him and piss. It's a power move.
But
It's like when dogs pee. and other dogs pee on top of their pee.
I hate those moments when you're like sporting event, concert, and like because it's very rare for men to have a lineup for the toilet, but it happens, and then you get to a point where it's like you see a guy, and it's particularly worse with the silver ones where you don't have the separate little booths, so you've got to kind of squish all up in there, and then like literally, like, you're a bit of a slim guy, I'm a bit of a bigger dude, so you find a gap, and if it's not a very wide gap, and you're getting in there, and you've kind of got to squeeze it all in there and whip it out, and I get a bit of performance anxiety sometimes.
Just go outside.
Well, you can't at a concert, like
you could piss like just on the floor. I doubt anyone would notice.
Again, this is what you do. But
I know the solution to your problem. The key is you've got to get people away. You've got to make the people move, and the way to do that is to do a kindy piss. So, you'll be familiar. Or I don't know if you'll be familiar. Oh shit! Turn the mic off. Children of kindergarten age apparently tend to, when they pee, I have this on good
hang out with a lot of kindy kids.
A teacher,
Jamie,
a teacher friend of mine, that they will pull their pants and underwear all the way down their ankles and lift their t-shirts up, and then just fucking have at it.
That's what I was saying, Ben. Like, I really think you should just do that.
But we have that problem.
You're in a stadium bathroom. Fucking do it.
But we have that problem in the morning, Jamie. You get up, you go to the toilet. Men have a certain thing that happens in the morning, and it's not it's your penis is erect.
Yeah,
Jamie.
That's a reference to Morningwood.
Morningwood, thank you. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Apparently, it is absolutely terrible.
Well, I mean, there are better times to have erections, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
And Morningwood's not just normal. Morningwood's a rager.
But Morningwood is like this table.
Do you use morning wood? Is it just like a normal erection where like you feel horny, or is it just
you don't horny?
You're not horny.
But like
if
like Mallory was like, let's have sex, would it be easy for you to get horny? Because
if Mallory's mum's listening, we've not had sex, we are virgins.
Yes, 100%.
But you would still fuck with Morningwood, absolutely.
You can, yeah. Like it's this. I don't know where this topic. Whatever, it's fun.
I believe we're talking about helicopter dicks.
Blame summer, but it's like we can get them without being horny. Like, Jamie, I'm sure it's happened to you. You've been out and you're just chilling, and all of a sudden, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you're not horny.
You just flip and tuck.
It's because it's all blood. It's all
you
blood.
Can't flip and tuck.
You can't flip and tuck.
You cannot flip and tuck an erect penis.
Can do it, Jamie.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm sorry. I love you. I've never seen your dick, so I don't know.
All right, on that topic.
Speaking of.
Would you like to see my penis?
Yes, please.
Right, for the first time on the Brink podcast.
How do you know it's the first time? This show has been going on for 15 years on and off the air, so there's a lot's happened on this show.
Wow.
I went to Sexpo, Jamie.
Did you?
I went to Sexpo. I was manhandled by shirtless men in loincloths. I had
amazing.
women in less clothes than you can imagine basically gyrate against me before exposing their lunch on stage.
Very few clothes.
It was a very fun time.
Does sound quite exciting.
It was. We might actually be getting one of our guests that we had on Sexpo coming back on the show at some point in the future too, so stay tuned for that. We're going to go to the next segment.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and then we're going to ask some of these questions because we're already on this topic. And let's have some fun. We always usually say at this point, it's been a while since we've had this next person on the show because it actually has. But we've got a reason for him to be on the show this week. Not that we don't usually, but anyway. Nick Chess is back on the show. Hello, Nick. Welcome back to the Brink.
Hi, thank you. Always nice.
I don't know why I come up with these introductions. They never make sense. Anyway, I thought it probably appropriate to get you on the show this week to speak about New Zealand, particularly your cricket team, because it didn't go exactly to plan a few days ago for the World Cup, and not many people in this country are happy about it. How are you feeling about what happened to the Black Caps the other day?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always hard to take something like that. I mean, it's a pretty unique situation, but the fact that we didn't actually lose the game, and yet we didn't win the World Cup is quite bizarre. I mean, I'm not sure that will ever happen again. And it does kind of leave you questioning, like, why on earth do these rules exist when they kind of make no sense? But I think we're all trying to be, the usual Kiwi thing of not being too bitter about this. We tend to not like other countries when they're like that and they complain, and so we try not to be like that. But it's kind of hard not to be a little bit bitter, I think.
I do have to say, I admit, experiencing it this week, you guys have been almost very humble about it. Because if this happened in Australia, there'd be riots on the street. We'd be complaining to hell and high water about this. You know, we would never let this go. I mean, they're even talking about having a welcome home parade for the Black Caps, even though they lost. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's just the New Zealand way. Would this happen if this was the All Blacks? If this happened in the Rugby World Cup?
Yeah, well, I think it probably speaks to our expectations of the team. I guess I probably was a little bit more buoyant when the World Cup started about their chances. I think generally it looked like Kiwis were pretty down on, our chances of doing well in the World Cup, and, we didn't have a good squad and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, the Black Caps are always pretty good. Like, it's actually, when you go back and look, it's actually kind of rare that we don't make the semi-finals. It's, that's more normal than not making them, So I thought we had a good shot. And I think once you get to a semi stage, like, anything can happen. And so you just never know. And so, I was really optimistic that we could do well. And I think the other thing too is, cricket's such a game of location matters. And, basically the English conditions are as close as possible to the New Zealand conditions. So I thought we had a good shot. And I think, it's a bit different with the All Blacks because, the All Blacks are just expected to win the World Cup every time, and anything less than, winning is not really acceptable to the New Zealand public, whereas the Black Caps, I think anything semi-final onwards is seen as a success. So I think we're just quite impressed that they got as far as they did, really.
Well, it's actually, you got to go back, I'm just looking here, 2003 was the last time you didn't at least make the semi-finals, and in the history of the World Cup, only 4 times you've not actually made it. There was a quarter-final in 96, obviously the many format changes. But, 2007, 2011, semi-finals, and the last 2 runners-up. So, I mean, it was kind of battling between you and South Africa for a long time there, wasn't it? About, just never make the finals, always the semi-finals. And this time around, we had 2 new finalists, I guess. But did you stay up and watch all of it? Did you kind of go to work with matches in your eyelids the next morning?
No, I watched the first innings, and I had actually taken a nap on the Sunday evening, so I went to bed at 7:30, 2 hours before the game started, just so I could stay up as long as possible, and then got to the innings break, and I thought I actually need to go and have some sleep, and then I just kind of slept until the last over, and I woke up and I was like, holy shit. And then, jump out of bed and turn on the TV and then kind of saw the end as it was happening. And, that was just insane, watching that happening. And, I know the result wasn't what we wanted, but, to be a piece of history like that, it was almost immediately called, definitely the best World Cup game of all time and potentially the best one-day international of, just in general of all time. And, so that's pretty cool to have been part of that and to see it live is that was really cool.
The controversial things out of it, of many of the things, they're talking about the overthrows should have only been, 5 instead of 6, I think it is, and also you and I are having that conversation during the week about why is it a tie at the end of a super over and it comes down to boundaries, should they not go ahead and do another over? You made the very good point that if it was a penalty shootout or something like that, you're not just going to stop if they get to 5 penalties. So, what was your take on kind of these 2 bits which essentially have almost cost you guys the World Cup with these rules?
Yeah, well, I think kind of the analogy I made was, if it was a Football World Cup final and it was, it was still drawn after 120 minutes and you went to penalties, the way it actually works is that you do 5 penalties, and then if you're still not, can't get a result, is that you just go 1-for-1 penalties until a team misses, which seems as fair as you possibly can be, right? Whereas in this one, it was, had that extra over, and then we were still drawn after that, so it went to a count back on who had the most boundaries, which, if you look at the football analogy, that would be like doing a penalty shootout and then going, well, let's go to who had the most corners. It's just almost irrelevant. We obviously had less wickets down, so maybe that should have been and I think ultimately what happens is that when you get into a situation like this, it's the chances of this happening are so low, it's never, ever, ever going to happen, basically, that I don't think the people that write the rules ever anticipated that they'd be in a situation like this. I don't know if it still is the case, but I know the Rugby World Cup is that after, I remember the famous one where the All Blacks lost the World Cup final in 95, and the rules then were that if it was still tied at after extra time is that they would literally toss a coin to decide who would win the World Cup. I'm like, I can't even fathom what that would look like on TV. You know, like how would that actually work? Like everybody just like staring intently at this coin as it kind of flipped over, like because people don't write these rules with much of an anticipation that they'll actually be used. You know, like it's so rare that I don't think they ever really think about it. And I think the boundaries thing, you know, like it coming down to who had hit the most boundaries, feels like. I think I'd read some stuff this week that it was kind of like a bit of an overhang from 2020, you know, because obviously hitting boundaries in 2020 is quite important because you're trying to get as high a score as possible. And it's kind of more of a smash and grab type of game, whereas it's a little bit different in one-day internationals in that it's 50 overs and it's not quite such a, you know, big hitting game. So it does seem like a strange thing to kind of bring it back to. You know, I don't understand why you wouldn't just do another over until you get a clear winner. If you've gone 51 overs and you can't separate these two teams, then what does it matter to go to 52? That just seems quite a strange thing to stop after one over.
Yeah, I read a very good article, sort of what you're saying there about the 2020, that, you know, the super over in general is kind of designed for the 2020s anyway. And it's an odd situation for one dayers because, I mean, you're not going to, test matches are obviously completely different kettle of fish, but, you know, one days are more about sort of the marathon. You know, it's like you're not going to all of us. The analogy I saw described basically was that, like, if you had two marathon runners at the end of a marathon cross the line, it's like making them do a 100-meter sprint to decide who wins. Like, it's kind of, it was just such an odd way of doing it. And I think from memory, I mean, look, I'm not that much focused on cricket as I was many years ago, but I remember seeing one during a one-day series in Australia a few years ago where I think a one-day I went to super over, and it's a rare thing. Even, like, I mean, 2020 is obviously a bit more common because it's shorter and you're going to probably get more likelihood of a tie, but I don't know how much a super over has been used in one-day internationals anyway before this match. It's a very odd way of deciding it.
Yeah, and I think you've got to, you know, as much as I hate to say it, you have to give England a little bit of credit because, like, they obviously saw the scenario playing out. They knew that, you know, if it went down to a super over, that they had the tiebreaker in their favour. So they only had to tie the game. They didn't have to win it, whereas we had to win it. And so they actually had a couple of wickets to play with, and so they were running hard, knowing that it didn't actually matter if they got a wicket because they had another two they could kind of use, and that wasn't going to be the tiebreaker, if you know what I mean. So I think that they kind of, you know, they actually used those extra couple of wickets that they ended up having to kind of just get to that score where it was tied. And I also think that's quite strange. Like, I know that's a long-standing rule of cricket, but like if you hit the ball and you make 2 runs and you get run out on the second one, I still find it strange how the first one counts because it's all on that ball, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, like it's a weird rule, and I think like this probably goes to like, you know, cricket rules. Like I think you're either brought up watching cricket and understand it, or it's like a sport that is played by aliens. Like, it makes no sense. And, you know, like, it is just such a weird sport. And, you know, trying to figure these rules out is just, it's so strange. I can't imagine what somebody who's never seen cricket must think when they watch the sport.
I think I've had a discussion with you before about this because, you know, you try and explain it, say, to an American. I've been in a car for, I swear, about 2 hours trying to explain it to someone, to an American, basically. And, you know, I feel like I can explain Australian rules football to an extent that it's understandable, and I feel you can watch Australian rules football and after about 10 minutes go, okay, I get it. Same with rugby, same with a lot of these sports. But yeah, cricket is definitely a sport. Even when you're watching it with someone, it's odd, and it's got very weird terminologies. I mean, there's like 9 different ways you can get out. It's a strange sport, and I think you're absolutely right. Like, if you're brought up on it, you understand it, but if you don't, like, Mallory has no clue what cricket is, basically. Like, she doesn't get it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, whatever you might want to say about baseball, it's a pretty easy sport to understand. Like, you know, you can kind of watch that, and there's obviously, like, in every sport, there is kind of weird, you know, like, things that you only really pick up from years of watching it. But, you know, like, cricket is a sport that I think you could watch for years and still not understand it and still have weird things happen. And this is just one of those scenarios, I think, where it's just like a weird thing that happened. And like, that overthrow is like a 1 in a billion chance that would happen. You know, like, it's just such a strange thing to happen that you almost can't really blame the umpires for maybe getting it wrong in terms of counting the number of runs, because, you know, like, they probably never ever had to use that rule, and they'll never have to use it again. Like it is just a once off, and you can't really give them too much of a hard time about that.
The focus, obviously, the Rugby World Cup in a couple of months, but the Netball World Cup's on right now, Nick, and the what are they? The black ferns, silver ferns? There's something a fern, aren't they? There's always a fern.
Yeah, silver ferns.
Silver ferns. Thank you. The black ferns are the rugby team, right? The female rugby team. Doing quite well. I mean, the New Zealand netball team obviously hasn't been travelling too well in the last couple of years, but they seem to be doing all right. Do you focus much on the netball at all?
Oh, I mean, I'd like to see them do well, but I think it's probably going to all come unstuck pretty quickly. They're just not in good form. It was really funny because I think probably when I go back to the cricket, the one reason I didn't want England to win is because I've got nothing against the English team, but the English media were just like, oh well, England are going to win; they're the favourites. And I'm like, seriously, like Aussie and India are in this tournament. How can England be the favourites? And so for them to win was annoying. But when I went and read this thing the other day on one of the English websites, it's like, who's the favourite to win the Netball World Cup? It's like, England. I'm like, really? Like, that's quite surprising. I've obviously missed something because England are better than they used to be, but surely Australia have got to be your favourites to win that, I would have thought.
I'm just assuming a lot of that comes off the back of the fact that they knocked us off in the Commonwealth Games last year, so they're kind of, they won it like at the death. Because, I mean, netball is generally a sport where, for the most part, we always knew what the finals were going to be in any tournament. It was always going to be Australia, New Zealand. Like that's it. Like, and since you guys have obviously had a couple of, bad couple of years, it's sort of fallen, I think, to England to be the next one because, I mean, yeah, say what you will about cricket and even rugby, kind of, for the most part, it's going to be one of what about like 5 or 6 teams that are going to be there. Netball is, I think, even more of a smaller, field there, isn't it? It's generally going to be England, New Zealand, and Australia, and someone like South Africa or Jamaica will probably go through as well. But, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting that England have done okay. But, yeah, I know what you mean about the media. Like, God, the amount of things I've seen this week about England winning this World Cup. Can you imagine if they had won the bloody Soccer World Cup last year? Holy crap.
It's really funny because I saw this thing on Twitter and it was like, oh, England are the first team to win the World Cup treble. Like, they're the first team to win the football, rugby, and cricket World Cup. And I'm like, that's kind of like Americans going on that they're the best in the world at, American football. Like, they're the only ones that play all 3 of them. So, of course, they're going to be the only ones that, Australia are probably the only other country that has a shot at that, and their football team is a long way from being world champions, I would say. And I mean, I guess probably South Africa could win cricket, but they're not going to win football anytime soon. So, yeah, I think that was a bit of a disingenuous thing to put. It's not wrong, don't get me, it's obviously a factual, that is true, but yeah, that to me felt like a pretty disingenuous thing to be kind of crowing about.
That is a very interesting thing, isn't it? Because, like, you're right, I mean, you think about the football ones, like France shall play rugby, but they're not going to win cricket. So, like, it's kind of, that's right. It's exactly as the Americans. Like, I mean, super thrilled that the Raptors won the championship, but it's when they start calling themselves the world champions. It's like, well, no, like, you're not the world champions. You won the North American competition. It's kind of, it's odd that they do that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really strange. But yeah, I guess you can't kind of hold it. I mean, if we had won, we would be, making all sorts of crazy, claims about how great we are. So, if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm sure I'd be doing it as well. But it did kind of annoy me.
Well, I was just trying to think on the double itself, because I was thinking if you guys had won it and say you won the Rugby World Cup, I was thinking like, well, has that been done before? And I know Australia did it in 99. I think it was the last time the Wallabies won the World Cup and we won the Cricket World Cup. But I don't know if any other country would have done the double. I thought that would have been the more sort of one, because that's a dumb thing to say, the treble. Come on. But yeah, that's kind of interesting to think about that. Well, I know there was a big thing in Australia for a while there where kind of they basically had it was when Adam Scott won the Masters, and then I think when Cadel Evans won the Tour de France, they were kind of, the media was like, oh, they're like the only 2 major sporting events that an Australian has never won, or something like that. And it's kind of like, well, there's the Football World Cup. Soccer is never going to win that, probably, so they probably don't really focus on that. But I just love the way that the Australian media were kind of like, oh, we never won the Masters and we never won the Tour de France, and now we can tick it off the list. Australia's won everything, basically. And I don't know about that.
Yeah, and I mean, just to put it into context, in England, like when England won the Football World Cup, neither the Cricket or the Rugby World Cup existed. Like, it was that long ago. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure we want to be crowing about that all too much.
I remember the 2003 Rugby World Cup when England won. That was it. Johnny Wilkinson, wasn't it? Kicked the golden point or whatever it was. Like, how much Australians credit. So look at that. The first time they win the Rugby World Cup, Australia's, getting pissed off, and now the first time they win the cricket one, New Zealand's won on the other end of it. So there's bloody English.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, it would have been. I think it would have been quite interesting to do a replay of the last Cricket World Cup final. If Australia had made it, but it wasn't to be this time around.
I honestly I paid attention to it. The thing is, it went on for a long time. Obviously, since they ditched the format, they changed the format every bloody 4 years. So I mean, I was a bit upset they didn't make the final, but I really didn't think that they would go that far, to be honest. I was like, okay, cool, made the semis, and I'm not in Australia to have to put up with all the whinging afterwards of not making it and all that sort of stuff. So, because I think England had never beaten Australia, I think, in a World Cup match until that time. So, fair enough.
Oh, right, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean, I guess it is one of those things where, it's kind of nice to make the finals, but I think what's a little bit scary is that this might be the best chance we ever had. I'm not sure the way cricket's changing, and I think next time, I think anyone who's not India or maybe Pakistan, next time I think anyone else who thinks they might win that is probably joking themselves, because the Indians will just set the whole tournament up to suit themselves, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, I think the whole thing around the super over coming in and the format change to how the World Cup was run this time was actually at India's request, more or less. That's how they wanted it, and they're just such a powerhouse in terms of the politics of cricket that they kind of get whatever they want. I actually quite enjoyed the format. I think that's there's no real kind of wasted or rubbish games. Like, it's always good teams going up against each other, but I mean, everyone to their own, I suppose.
I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page. I have the table here of kind of, all the World Cup finals. So you've got India won by 43 runs, Sri Lanka won by 7 wickets. And here at the bottom, England won on boundary count. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah. Well, I saw a thing on, if anybody's listening and they're actually a cricket fan and they want a unique take on things, then I really recommend that they look up the Alternative Cricket Commentary Collective, I think they're called, which is basically a bunch of kind of Kiwi comedian type who have a pretty different take. They do their own commentary, so you can actually tune in and listen to them call it, and they have nicknames for all the players and things like that. But they had kind of taken a screenshot of that on the Wikipedia, and they had kind of edited it to basically say England won by pure luck, more or less. It was quite funny.
Oh, brilliant. And another thing too, every single Cricket World Cup this decade was won by the host nation. So that's a bit of an odd fact for you. I don't think you see that in many other sports, would you? So
yeah.
There you go.
Well, it's probably the most likely to happen in cricket because,
True.
As I was alluding to with India, I think, it is one of those sports that home teams tend to have a much bigger advantage because they just get used to playing in their own conditions, and it is a real condition sport, whatever your pitches are like, you kind of get used to playing with that condition. So yeah, it is a funny game in that, the kind of the venue and everything plays such a big role. And if you're used to the venues, then you're going to be better. Exactly. Nick, always a pleasure, mate. We'll have to get you on again soon. We'll talk about the Rugby World Cup probably next anyway. Commiserations. Yeah, and if you think living in New Zealand during a Cricket World Cup is intense, wait until you live in New Zealand during a Rugby World Cup. It has been several weeks since we've been on air. You've probably forgotten what's happening in Ramsey Bay with our Days of Our Pies trip down memory lane. We are into, of course, episode 5 of season 1 of our very terrible radio soap opera that we did way back in the day. So let's get into episode 5 of Days of Our Pies. Previously on Days of Our Pies. Ah! It's okay, Billy. It's me, Mom. That's the woman who shot us.
I think that Lisa should come down to the station with me.
But I'm innocent, I'll tell you.
innocent!
You come here being all nice and sexy and then admit to a previous criminal record. You have a lot of explaining to do. What the hell? This maniac is coming towards us! Oh my god!
Like pastry in the oven, these are the days of our pies. I'm Lisa Jones, and these are the days of our pies.
The police car carrying Frank and Lisa had rolled onto its side and was a wreck of metal and debris. Frank slowly woke himself up and realized what had happened, but he turned around to see that his prisoner, the newly arrived Lisa Muffin, had disappeared.
My head. Oh my god, I'm bleeding. Oh, my leg is cut under the steering wheel. Damn it. Where did that fine specimen Miss Muffin go? She has escaped from right under my eyes. The chief isn't going to be happy about this.
Frank grabs the radio to call the accident in.
Delta 12 to Central. I've been involved in an MVA on the corner of Main and Minor Street. Prisoner in transport has escaped and is at large. I need a bus at ASAP. 1013 Central. 1013.
The message quickly arrived back to Central, and help soon arrived. Meanwhile, Lisa Muffin had escaped with the driver of the car that had taken them out, former Prime Minister John Howard.
My lord, I can't thank you enough for getting me out of that. I was in one fine and dandy pickle.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Muffin. Anything to help a former CIA agent out. Shh!
No one knows I'm a former CIA agent, and no one knows why I've come back to Ramsey Bay.
Oh, but surely they would be getting suspicious after you shot little Billy Muesli Bar and his illegitimate father, Roy Bowl of cereal.
Those two should be dead by now, but I stuffed up. Luckily, I have an operative working inside the hospital to take care of that. You just leave the rest to me.
Meanwhile, back in the hospital, General Store owners George and his wife Jennifer were still by Roy and Billy's bedside as the two slowly recovered. Ah, Jennifer, why can't we live in peace? Why must we live in such a different world where we can't tolerate each other's differences? And why, oh why can't you remember I take 2 sugars in my coffee and not 1?
Sorry, Taj, I forgot. I'm sure it's sure taking a long time for the doctor to see you guys.
It seems as though they are busy today, but it's no excuse. Roy, how are you feeling?
Like I was run over by a bowl of haggis. My head is throbbing and my stomach hurts more than Thursday morning in Glasgow.
Keep your chin up, Roy. I'm sure the doctor will be here any minute now.
And I'm sure that both you and Billy will be out here quicker than you can say jilly wee winkies. I'll be right back. I just have to call my sister Jennifer Donut to make sure the general store is okay, as she's running it right now. Daddy! Is Mr. Frank going to arrest Lisa for what she did to us?
I'm not sure, me boy. For all we know, she is innocent.
But Daddy, that's not how to do it!
I'm sure you did, my boy. But it's not as simple as that. I'm sure the truth will be found out soon.
Just then, the doctor walks into the room carrying a briefcase and walks over to Roy.
Okay, guys, how are you feeling today?
The neck hurts!
Well, you have a bullet lodged in it. That's to be expected. Let me take a look at it.
Ow!
That seems to be healing nicely, Billy. Doing well. How are you doing, Mr. Bowl of Cereal? Better than before. Still very sore. Let me take a look at... Oh, sorry, I'm being paged. I'll be back in a jiffy.
The doctor leaves the room, but leaves the briefcase behind. What a pain in the bum. They just can't stay with you, can they?
It's okay. He's obviously busy. It's not that bad. It could be a lot... What's that? What's that noise? It sounds like ticking. It's coming from that briefcase.
It sure is. Oh my god, it's a bomb! Who survived the explosion? Did Frank make it back to the hospital okay? Why on earth is former Prime Minister John Howard helping Lisa out? And how the hell did a doctor bring a bomb into the hospital? Find out next time on Days of Our Pies.
Good McEvening and morning. We're back with the dynamic duo
McEvening.
Jamie and Summer. Mallory's gone to bed, so
It's just us.
really is a party now. So Just a bit of background for you two. So, a couple of years ago, I got a copy of a book called Emergency Questions by a British comedian called Richard Herring.
Ooh.
And he basically
fish.
had radio shows and podcasts, and he thought, well, I'm going to put together a book of random questions that if you run out of questions for guests...
Is it actually going to be juicy?
Well, these some of the most random fucking questions you will ever hear in your life.
Is it going to be juicy, though?
I can find the juicy ones.
Please
Now,
find
I
the
love
juicy ones.
juicy.
We don't do not juicy. It has to be very juicy.
Mallory and I have answered all of these except for the last 20, which we will do on another time. So I think what I might do here is I'll let you guys... I'll go through this basically just to show you that. Just tell me what that's a picture of right now.
A penis.
Looks like a penis.
There's a picture of a penis and testicles in this book. So
I'm very excited.
So, I am curious on a scale like juiciness on a scale of like moist to saturated. Whereabouts are we?
pretty well on the way to saturated.
Awesome.
But not all of them. Okay, not all of them are dirty. Some of them are just
We understand
very
what you mean.
random.
I'm very excited.
So let's start off with number one then.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through all 500, but we'll just
Do we
go
answer
through.
like whenever?
You can just both answer as much as... Summer, I'm going to go on out a limb and say you can't really answer this first one, but you could...
Oh, it's a question
I
about my
100%
penis.
can answer this.
Well, you
first
can
one.
associate this towards your oh-hoo-hoo how. What's the place?
Pussy.
No,
Otahuhu.
Otahuhu, but we'll go with pussy then. Number one, have you ever tried to suck your own cock?
Yes.
Jamie actually succeeded at that.
Yes.
Well, he is a lot thinner, so... Have you ever tried to... It's not really... Girls can't really...
Yeah,
can-
no, like once, and I got pretty close.
Really hope my family never hears this.
Same, mum.
I'm going to link them and tag. So go on the random ones here. Which would you prefer? A hand made out of ham or an armpit that dispensed sunscreen?
An armpit that dispensed
Sunscreen armpit.
sunscreen. That'd be
I could-
freaking dope.
It would make me rich.
It would, right? See, Jamie thinks the same way as I do. I think of these as more of a financial
You
opportunity.
would become rich by selling sunscreen, eh?
Yeah, but you wouldn't want like your hand out of ham because it would get rotten in the sun, and then like
Yeah.
you'd get sick
You
of
could go
ham.
like down to a hot beach
Like-
on a hot day and be like $2 for a spritz of sunscreen.
You could.
At the best of times, I don't even like ham.
Ham
Ham and cheese is really good.
True.
And imagine you're fucking a girl and you're like, oh, I'm really tired, I can't finish. You like
Have some
fucking
ham.
spritz of sunscreen, just flick it on her back and like, oh, there we go, done. You know?
Brilliant.
Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Yes.
No,
Multiple
Well, I mean,
times.
you're a girl. That's kind of
Doesn't
expected.
matter.
I'm talking guy. Like
I have not.
I have had to.
Where did the cum go?
Well,
Or did
I
it
was
come
wearing
in
a
her?
condom, and basically it.
I know this might be weird, but I always check. I always make sure that he's finished.
She checks and she ties him up and pins him in her wall with a
keeps
photo
it.
of the guy.
Did you, there was that woman. That woman. She went viral probably because she had so many condoms. Disease, but no, she literally she got men to send her used condoms, and she pinned them on a wall. It was like a couple of months ago. Did you read that?
Yep, they have them at Family Plane, the one down here.
I'm
They
disgusted.
have one
Ugh.
over there.
All right. I really am glad the topics of this show. If you had to have sex with an animal, what animal would you have sex with and why?
Which one would it be the most painless for, animal-wise?
Well, an elephant wouldn't be a good choice.
I think a dolphin, because dolphins are the only other animals that have sex recreationally.
Pleasure. True.
And I mean, if
And
I've
they
got to
feel
do
pleasure
it,
as well.
they may as well enjoy it.
True. Dolphins are pretty good looking.
I feel kind of
Creature?
sick to my stomach right
No,
now.
I would agree with you, Jamie.
Yeah. All right. No. Okay.
And plus, the water would make it easier to sort of get stuff done. You know,
Well,
mechanic-
have
It
you
would
ever
just
tried
be
to
hard
sex in
to
water?
come, in my opinion.
No. Sex in
Yeah.
water is
Actually,
not good.
do I have to finish?
With the dolphin or
Yeah.
with this question?
It doesn't say you have to finish. It just says you have to have sex. As long as you
Okay.
See, they stole one of my questions here that I asked you on the radio tonight. What's your favourite cheese? Let's see here. I'm scrolling through some of these ones. What do you think happens when we die?
Honestly, I think it just
Deep.
nothing. It just goes black.
I'm like a Christian, but like I'm fading out. I would like to, and if asked, I will most likely say yes, that I do believe in heaven, but it can be really hard sometimes.
Okay.
You know?
All right. What is it like being... Well, Jamie's being nutted. We need a doctor here on the course. Did you not feel them?
It was your fucking foot on the outside of my legs.
Literally, he has been nutted on the show right now. Well, there you go. This might be an appropriate time to ask this question then. What is it like being insert name of the person you're asking? So, Jamie, what is it like being Jamie?
Sore testicles.
I'm sorry. I literally thought it was his leg.
It's not all that bad.
So I was there, and I went like that.
Yeah, you were there, and you just went like straight in there.
Sorry.
Okay. Not all that bad?
It's all right. It's actually pretty good because I'm very forgetful. So if anything good happens, you forget it, but you're not worried because you've forgotten it. And if anything bad happens,
you're like a goldfish.
You forget it.
Like Dory.
Yeah, precisely, man.
Right.
But at least Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, I wish we all went in it. Wouldn't it be nice if Ellen was just in this room right now?
What? No.
Hard out.
Dude, no.
You don't like Ellen?
No, Ellen, from what I've seen, or from what I've read and heard, she's supposed to be quite a fucking rude and arrogant person behind closed doors. Very
I could imagine
rude
that
to
because she's like so lovely and stuff.
I refuse to believe you because it's Ellen. Summer, what is it like being Summer?
Gay.
Exhausting,
yeah, because you got to shine all that sun on people. And
yeah, it's really exhausting. Sometimes you just want to give, sometimes you just want to take a break.
Do you like your name?
I very much like my name.
I think your name's cool.
Thank you. I
really
very much
suits you.
like my name.
Like, it's a name that's a season, but it's also like a feeling.
Oh.
Because if you think about it, summer brings
like
you...
happy brights.
Yeah.
Mm.
There you go. Look at that. If you... God, some of these are so random. What is the meaning of life? No. Oh, you want to answer that?
No, please don't let him answer that.
It's a movie by Monty Python.
It is true.
And it's not their best, but I still love it.
Have you ever put anything up your urethra?
I'm sorry.
Thankfully,
is that
fucking
the vagina?
no.
That is the pee part of the vagina, the part where you urinate from.
Oh, no.
The pee hole.
You know, when I was I've said this before on the show when the questions come up, but for a very long time I didn't realise that girls had like two holes down there.
Yeah.
I thought you
That's
peed out
fascinating.
of the part that... I also thought babies came out of your bum hole when I was little, but... would you rather be a cow or a badger?
Badgers are fucking badass. 100% honey badger.
Badger?
100% badgers.
Badger?
Because cows will just get killed for me constantly. With badgers, you got a little bit of a...
True. Have you ever tried to communicate with the dead?
Yes. Did a Ouija board in the library.
Did you succeed?
Except in the girls' bathroom.
Apparently we did, but I'm fairly certain everyone just
fucked around.
just moving their hands.
See, my mum and friend did it once, and like to me, I would only believe it. I'm like, don't touch the board, just like let it. Why do you your hand need to move?
Well, I think the thing is you channel the spirits through you, but the thing is, like, we were in a public library. If there was a ghost or a spirit there, it's going to be a boring fucking spirit.
So what's that one in Harry Potter that lives in the toilets?
Moaning Myrtle.
Oh,
yeah. That one. Have you ever had a near-death experience?
Not that I know of.
You're about to now!
No, I don't believe so.
What about with your epilepsy? Epilepsy?
No, still no.
Would you rather have a tit that dispenses talcum powder?
What's talcum powder?
Like just
baby powder.
stuff you
awesome,
put in
love
your
that
chest.
shit.
Or a finger that can travel through time?
Does the finger detach when it travels through time?
It doesn't.
Well, a tit that leaks baby powder is kind of useless to a baby, isn't it? Because we want him breast milk.
Oh, actually, the clarification here, you would produce limitless talcum powder, so you could sell it for profit. Only your finger travels through time. You'd be able to look through the hole to see what was going on, but only your finger could interact. Ooh.
Time travel finger. Easy. Hey,
Hitler, how's it going? In the eyeball.
I'd go with tit, just because it's cool to think of.
Kennedy Theatre, one finger appears and blocks a bullet. That's all you need.
You could fuck all the celebrities with their fingers.
Imagine all the finger banging.
Imagine what it looks like inside.
Incredible.
Finger bang Jeff
Kim
Buckley.
Kardashian with a few plastic.
Which celebrity would you like to stroke your hair as you die?
Like go like that as I die to a celebrity.
So it has to be someone
No,
comforting.
you're dying and they're stroking your hair.
Oh, daddy.
Who's the most comforting?
But you're kind of dying.
Do I have to pick a celebrity?
Yeah, that's the question.
Or would they want to be comforting, or would it be someone I just want to see before I die?
But like, I couldn't imagine, like, you wouldn't like go Ryan Reynolds just because it's like, oh my god, I'm so turned on when I'm dying.
100% Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, he'd be a comforting man
He
to
would
stroke
be
your
very,
hair.
very comforting.
He'd be able to sing to you as well.
Exactly. Very comforting.
Yeah, no, that's a man. That's
I'm trying to think of
a
someone
man's
like
man.
Jeff Bridges.
Selena Gomez.
He's just got like that nice soft voice.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
How sensitive are your nipples?
Fucking extraordinarily.
A solid changes all the time. If you suck on it, yeah, like they're going to get hard immediately. But if you generally just touch them, they're probably more sensitive that way. But they're just not going to get hard. Does that make sense?
Very, very.
From my experience with girls,
not picturing it all.
With them working away at my nipples.
Who touches your nipples?
You! All of the time.
I never touch your nipples. Just let me touch them once.
I got a nipple cripple once and I cried.
I'm not going to nipple grip them. Just let me touch them.
Go ahead.
I am watching right now Summer insert her hand down Jamie's shirt.
And they get hard.
And I don't think I saw this at Sexpo.
But they're really sensitive and it feels really nice.
I feel this show.
It's really hard. Like it feels like it's going to come.
Please tell me your hand's still in his shirt.
Ben.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Ben, wait.
I can
Is
see.
the other one hard? No.
Yes. Isn't it? It feels hard.
Would you rather date a man who was a 6 foot tall penis or a man who instead of having a penis had a tiny man? Aren't these questions great?
The second one. A big penis would be too much and it couldn't pleasure you in any way either, and it would talk through its dick hole and that just wouldn't be pleasant.
Does the 6 foot penis have a penis?
The 6 foot penis would have a face on his helmet, but otherwise is just a huge penis without balls. He would not be wearing a suit jacket with false arms to give himself more human appearance, while the tiny man would be living with his feet implanted in the host man, but a separate individual with his own personality. He, in turn, would have a tiny man instead of a penis, and so on to infinity.
I would love that. That would be amazing.
Tiny man with the tiny man.
You'd make money off it. It would be brilliant.
It'd be a microscope and meet like the fucking tiny man to the 9th power.
He can wear like a stick on. Strap on?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't need him to fuck me. I don't have a vagina. I'm quite content.
You have an asshole?
Do you have any good ideas for terrorist atrocities?
Like what, to prevent terrorist attacks?
No, to create a terrorist attack. I'm just hooking into what's New Zealand's FBI? The NZ FBI.
What's your plan,
So what
Jamie?
I'm feeling is ISIS should infiltrate 4chan and Reddit, and by use of memes, convince 200,000 degenerates to storm Area 51 and have the US military.
That's like 1.5 million people now or something like that. Alright, if I got turned into a turkey right now, what would you do?
Fucking run. I hate turkeys. Have you met a turkey? They're aggressive.
I eat them, they're good.
I'd pet you.
Aww, thank you. Why can't everyone be babies?
Because they wouldn't be able to pleasure girls.
Gotta get titty milk somewhere. Babies don't have sexual organs.
I love
they haven't
how...
reached sexual
maturity. Can you shut the fuck up? Do they have a penis? Yes.
Yeah, but...
No, it doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, possibly. Who knows?
No, they cannot.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can just sellotape it up to the fucking chest and boom, boom.
You overestimate the size of a baby's penis.
He can wear a strap on. He can wear a fucking strap on, Jamie.
What was that? You could put it up on their chest and boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Babies don't get sexual pleasures.
Can you shut the fuck up? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's up to the girls.
Might as well just dry fuck.
Have you ever had the opportunity to assassinate a public figure? I guess have you been that...
including Ben, the famous podcaster? Yes.
You could kill me right now.
Exactly. And
have you been in the vicinity of a celebrity, basically, you could kill them?
Only Tim Shadbolt. This is back when he was
Why would you kill Tim, man?
No one want to kill Tim. You want to hug Tim. Does sex with a robot count as cheating on your partner?
No.
You were very firm on that one. You've had some experience here, haven't you?
Yes.
Are we talking like...
No, I reckon it does.
Fleshlight?
50-50.
Fleshlight or like sex bot level, or like fully fucking AI cyborg becoming self-aware?
T1000.
That is absolutely cheating.
It depends on how insecure you are about yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you're like full on like, oh yeah, I can't be bothered having sex, and you can see him, like it would still like give you that thought of like jealousy, seeing you're looking over and seeing, like, if it's a full AI, if it's just like a fleshlight, or if it's just like a robot that's obviously can't move.
Off.
Have you ever put your genitals in or near the mouth of a dead animal?
No. Stop thinking about
Unless
it.
on accident, then no.
Follow-up question. A living animal.
Okay.
Oh, Jamie's thinking about this one too hard.
I'm just making sure, but no.
You're making sure.
Where is this podcast going?
Oh, no one's listening to it. It's fine.
Oh my god, it's
Okay.
a yes.
Okay.
What? Oh, hang on. Summer.
I don't know if I'm
One
ready.
summer.
I don't know if I'm ready to tell the story. It's really, really personal.
Hold on. Can we pause this and turn the microphones
Just
off?
no, we'll come back to that off air, I think. Don't say it on air. We'll remember that. Which is worse, bestiality or necrophilia?
Necrophilia.
Clearly, based on your previous answer, I think that's where you were going to go.
Necrophilia is the most disrespectful thing. If you do it like with the right animal, for example, a dolphin, it doesn't kill them, then it's fine.
The right
But,
animal.
Like fucking a dead person is just beyond disrespectful.
What about a dead animal?
Yeah.
Say dead animal.
To me, they're probably both. They're both about even.
Okay. What crimes have you got away with?
Stealing accidentally. From Countdown, I put these tissues underneath my arm. Oh no, not tissues, baby wipes. And they just sunk in because I was wearing an oversized like polar fleece. And I left and I got in the car and I was too scared to go back in. This was like last year.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Probably jaywalking.
What song would you like to replace the national anthem?
Grace. By
Electric
Jeff
Feel.
Buckley.
Or Grace Kelly.
You've heard his high notes. I know I've played them for you.
But
Can you stop talking about him?
I'm actually
No.
picturing Electric Feel. I could imagine like the one time New Zealand wins a gold medal in like 50 Olympics.
Yeah.
You'd be standing up there going, "Turning on electric feel."
Yeah, it'd be dope.
Um,
What about Grace
I can
Kelly's
normally
one?
hit that note and I just butchered it.
Is sex with a ghost cheating?
Yes.
If it's giving them pleasure, yes.
The ghost or the person?
The person.
Right, okay.
No, yes, because we're assuming the ghost has like a consciousness, so it's another person. Just
Or an animal in someone's case.
not on the
I
physical
didn't
plane.
do anything that anybody thinks I did.
Should penis
Let's just put that out there,
transplants
okay?
ever be
I don't
allowed?
fuck a dog or anything like that.
penis transplants.
Penis
What was the
transplants.
question, sorry?
Should penis transplants be allowed?
So, like, taking off your penis, putting
So
on
like
another
Jamie's
penis.
dick falls off.
That would be really, really sad.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, dead porn star, knee-length dick, James Dean, plop it on.
Yeah?
see, I was
Why the
totally
fuck
imagining like I lose my nose in a fire, replace it with a dick, sneeze
That
and
is
get a hard
beautiful.
on.
I would assume it's more of the... No.
You know, I could go for a Ron
Guys, I
Jeremy
really want
Todger.
chocolate right now.
Yeah. Would you rather date a woman who has a 6-foot vulva or a woman instead of having genitalia had another woman living in between her legs?
Same as last time. The
Same as
second
last
one.
time.
Yeah, same as last time.
Okay. If you could murder one person and have an 87% chance of getting away with it, who would you kill?
Do we have to kill?
But that's murder. Like, that's the point of that, I think.
It would have to be someone that would really benefit me.
I don't know who would that
Everybody
be.
around me.
No?
Does
Everyone's
it have to be
thinking-
just one person?
We'll go with one. If you've got a list, we can...
Damn, I can't just get rid of one. I have to get rid of all three.
All three of them. Okay.
No, I can't because then the family would come after me if I found out.
87% chance though.
Oh my god, there's so many fuckheads that I would like to kill.
I hate to get
Joel.
political.
I would do
I'd probably
Joel.
say like Trump or something.
Joel, sharing a girl's nudes is not okay. Joel.
Okay. Which 5 celebrities are on your celebrity shag list?
We've talked about this.
So who
Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman.
They're both coming to my wedding, so...
Yay.
Well, I've got 470 odd days to tweet them, so... it's
Cole
fine.
Sprouse, young Leonardo DiCaprio, young Johnny Depp.
Young Oh, come on, Leonardo DiCaprio, only age.
How young? Are we talking like Titanic or What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah, Titanic.
What's he? And in character, in What's he?
Hey guys, shut the fuck up. Leave him alone. Leave us autistic.
Or are we talking about Revenant Leo inside a bear?
Oh.
No, we're talking about like Titanic. Yeah.
Who was on mine? It was Ryan Reynolds, Keanu Reeves, Donald Glover.
I think we said Donald Trump.
I'm not
I'd fuck
Donald
him.
Glover or Tyler the Creator. I'm sort of on the fence between those two.
Why don't you add both?
And then it was Natalie Portman.
She's my number one bitch, don't you touch her.
And
I'm gonna
I can't remember who the other girl was.
Regina Reynolds.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, Kate Bush, but like from Hounds of Love. Or
just because you want to get into
inside.
a bush. I don't know where I was going with that. Would you rather have a tongue that could taste impending danger or get a free iPhone?
Free iPhone.
Tongue that could taste danger.
I would go with that. If you had to have sex with an item of food, which food would you choose? Easy for girls and guys.
I think cucumbers are the safest.
Yeah.
But I don't really like... If I was masturbating, penetration is the last thing I would go for. So it had to be like, is there a
pineapple
that would vibrate?
I think
fruit that would vibrate.
Yeah, I mean you could chase it.
Not enough of them. I
would go like a pineapple and just hollow out the inside.
No, you guys do grapefruit. Grapefruit's the safest for you.
If it was penetrative, so I'm sticking it inside of me, I would still go pineapple. Just because I like adventure.
Yeah, I'd say apple pie for both. Do you think... Follow-up question. Do you think it would be morally wrong to eat the food after you made love with it?
Not morally wrong, but kind of gross.
Wash it with boiling water.
Did you enjoy that pineapple you all ate earlier this evening?
Fuck, I'm not eating any pineapple.
Let's see here. We're going to scroll through. We're here forever. Some of these are pretty shit.
Now, is it just me, Ben, or a lot of these questions winding up being severely sexual?
Well, don't blame me. Blame Richard Herring. Admittedly, I'm skipping over the non-sexual ones. Here's a non-sexual one. Have things turned out like you expected them to?
No.
And life?
Yes.
On the right track?
On my game plan, I was supposed to be graduated university by now.
Well, you're only young. I was 24 when I graduated uni, so you got a year to go. Do you think the Tim Allen film, The Santa Claus, could ever happen in real life?
100%.
No.
I agree with
Jamie,
someone.
fuck up.
So aggressive.
You guys remember what was that show that he was on? Home Improvement?
Mm-hmm.
The fucking best part of that whole show was the theme song. Where it get dun 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 and it makes it like...
Yep. See, the thing is, I'm impressed that you know what that show is, but that was my childhood. I grew up watching that with my dad. If you had to dig up the corpse of a celebrity who died in 2016, there's a few of them, and have sex with it, if you had to, who would you choose?
Name some.
David Bowie died in 2016, didn't he?
Yep. Prince died in 2016. Alan Rickman.
Christopher Lee.
Robin Williams didn't die. No, he died a few years before that.
And you had to fuck one of them.
But they'd be dead.
Well...
Or would they be alive?
It says a corpse of a celebrity.
None. I mean, if I had to... I don't want to do that to Bowie, but he's the only one I can think of that I was...
Prince,
yeah. Would you be willing to eat a bowl of crickets for $40,000?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, live or dead?
It just says crickets.
Okay, dead, yes.
If you had to, would you rather give up chocolate or cheese?
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, but cheese is on everything. Cheese is on pizza.
Fuck.
Chocolate.
Oh,
yeah.
no, but I can't live without chocolate. I can't live without cheese. Oh, fuck. I don't know what to do. Oh, this is when the week kicks in.
We've found the question that's broken summer.
Oh, cheese or chocolate? I'd have to give up chocolate.
Yep, correct answer. If you were in a Groundhog Day situation, you know both Groundhog Day?
Yep.
No.
Groundhog Day is where basically he lives the same day over and over and over and over and over.
Oh, I've seen that.
If he
Great
dies,
movie.
he starts over.
If you're in a Groundhog Day situation, what would be the worst crime that you would commit, knowing that when you woke up, it would have almost certainly not have happened? What's the worst?
Many.
Terrorist attack.
Raping a rapist.
Whoa. Raping a rapist.
Yeah.
Raping a rapist.
So I couldn't rape just one person. Because they might not know, but I'd have to live with that guilt. But I reckon I could murder someone. That somehow seems
you couldn't rape a rapist, but you would murder someone.
No. I couldn't rape anybody. Just live with...
Not even a rapist. So let's say your sister, Gemma, got raped by a dude and you kept living over and over and you had a choice to give him back what he deserved and then murder him afterwards.
I think I'd rather just kill him.
Oh my God, I wouldn't. I'd make them suffer. Make them feel what they put the other people go through. I'd just get a dick. Just get a broom.
If you had...
No, that's not rape. That's just like torture.
It's
Dudes do that.
It is rape. It's called something. It's like how if you rape, like if you why are we going to rape all of a sudden? That picture on that TV screen is in Tasmania, by the way. If you were to put your fingers inside a girl without her permission, that's digital rape because you're using your digits. And I don't know why I know this. Anyway, let's move on. If you had to be killed in a natural disaster, which natural disaster would you choose?
I think about this a lot. Tsunami would be last choice.
What would your first choice be?
So we got earthquake, tornado, tsunami,
volcano,
flooding. Definitely a volcano.
Drought.
Lava would be pretty quick.
Yeah, but you bloody hurt in the meantime.
It'd be quick.
Burn from bottom to top.
No, but not if you just full on dived in.
I mean, yeah, but how are you going to pull that off?
You just dive in and die.
So a volcano's exploding and these lava's coming to you. You're like, fuck, I'm going to go jump in the funnel.
Fuck yeah. If
Cool.
you were definitely going to die, or I would wait for the lava to bang on hit me.
I'll probably go volcano as well. I don't know it'll be easy.
Earthquake would be horrible because you could just either suffocate really slowly if you're in the wrong spot or be trapped somewhere and starve, and that's just not fun. And then tsunami would be the last one. The last thing I want to do is drown.
Earthquake, if I'm in a building and it collapses, I mean, I'm gone quickly.
Yeah.
I just want a sort of Pompeii situation where I wind up
frozen in like a...
immortalised.
Yeah.
Probably caught really awkwardly, like...
Jerking off?
Yeah.
All right, let's go a few more here. I'm just going to scroll through these randomly here. If everyone else in the world left in a spaceship and left you behind so everything belonged to you...
Suicide.
Where would you live? What paintings would you have on your wall? Would you be lonely? And where would be the most ostentatious place you would masturbate?
I would figure out first if there was... Okay, so me personally, because I'm a woman, go to a sperm bank. And then, like, just start breeding again. Like, you'd have to probably fuck your son at one point, but it's fucking to populate the earth. That's fine, you know. Because there'd be heaps of sperm banks. That's what people don't think about. And then for dudes, you've also got eggs now.
You know, it's always funny when they come up with that story when they say, like, if Jamie and Summer, you were the last people on Earth, right? Would you fuck each other to repopulate the Earth? That's a very weird point because you think about it. The answer would be yes, but then if you had a daughter, the only way to procreate then would be Jamie to fuck the daughter, and then if you had a son, like, it's really a bad...
I'm so glad you brought this conversation up.
Yeah, but I would bring them up to not really think of us as parents if that was the case. Because if you're the only person on Earth, you've got bigger...
But it's not about thinking about it. It's genetic deformity.
You could just, like, sperm bank. Different person's semen.
But if the sperm was wiped out, though, like if everything was dead and it was just...
Now he's changing his story.
I would only go one generation. But as I said before, if absolutely everyone on Earth disappeared and I knew I was alone, I would probably just kill myself.
You'd probably go and, like, jerk off in Buckingham Palace or something like that, first of all. Just
how am I going to get to Buckingham Palace, man?
Fuck it, swim.
I don't know how to do a boat or fly a plane.
Yeah, you could learn. You could get a book.
I don't know.
All right, let's see here. I'm scrolling through. Give me a random number between 1 and 500.
69.
That's 493.
Jesus Christ. Look at us scroll through all these motherfuckers now. 493. I'm closer to that than 69. Have you ever refused to dance in the rain whilst all your friends are doing it because you think they're stupid?
No.
I wouldn't reject them.
Just go 469 instead.
Oh, Jesus, motherfucker. All right, let's see here. 469, 469, 469.
Can I go through them and see which ones?
Is there a race of people you secretly believe should be exterminated in death camps?
Not in death camps.
The French.
Wait, hold on. Not in death camps. So there is a race of people you think should be exterminated?
It would be a quick death.
What type of vacuum cleaner do you use? Oh, you didn't answer the question. Sorry, Jamie.
Didn't I?
No.
Oh, no, there's not.
What type of vacuum cleaner do you use? Do you have a dream vacuum cleaner that you aspire to own one day?
Yes.
I use Electrolux. But I was talking to a friend, Gabriel, at Noel Lemming the other day, and he was showing me the new Dyson... What was it? D11 or something, or it's a real fucking flash handheld. It's got like sensors in the it's a flash piece of fucking machinery.
You're
that would
such
be
an
my
adult.
go-to.
And a big shout out to our good friends at Noel Leeming. Please sponsor the show.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm done with these.
Can I see?
You go for it. Which is the sexiest TV puppet?
Miss Piggy.
Animal. He's unkempt. He's pure passion.
Kermit. Green little, fluffy little... No, Big Bird. He's not a puppet though, is he? No.
Alf.
Oscar the Grouch. Where's a puppet? Yeah. Summer's looking at the questions now, by the way. I'm done.
I know it's a movie, not television.
If you had to eat the pants of someone within 30 metres of us, if you had to, whose pants would you eat?
Mallory's.
What have you got on?
What are the neighbours like?
I don't really know. There's a little old lady lives next door.
I'd eat your avocado pajama pants.
Oh, what sort of pants you got? Actually, I know you got changed just before we come over here, so I'd probably get your pants.
Well, the avocado pants, though, James, they taste like avocado. Scratch and sniff.
I haven't showered since I've been to the gym.
I thought you,
I'm
showered.
going to search up some dirty questions for you.
They would taste like sweaty balls.
We might end this section here, and we'll come back and we'll do so. You can find the questions in the concluding bit, some of it. We're just going to wrap this bit up now and come back. And we are about to close it all off for another episode. It's been a fun ride getting to know these two Invercargillites.
It has been.
Can you tell me a little bit about working at Kathmandu?
It's on Leven Street.
It's on 11th Street, you see.
How long have you been working there for, Jamie?
Oh, about a year and a half.
How long have you been working there for, Summer?
4 months.
So you've oh, that's right. Mallory's been there.
I was the wee
longer than you.
newbie.
You were the wee newbie. The wee
newbie.
Newbie.
But Kathmandu is alright. It's actually not supposed to talk about this outside story hours.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just any other workplace, really.
Yep. Do you like the green shirts?
They grew on me.
Yeah, they are
literally, because you didn't wash them. They're like, What made you apply for a job at Kathmandu?
I was unemployed. I walked in there with a CV, and they're like, "No, we've just filled that holiday position." So I'm like, "All right, that's all right." And then I got a phone call from them the next day, and the chick who they'd hired, I think she got pregnant, so quit the job that next day.
You didn't get her pregnant, did you?
No.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
And so they rang me up. They're like, "Oh, we lost our person for this. Do you want to come in and work?" I'm like, "Okay."
What was your previous job?
Before that was waiter / bartender at Suzy Q's Tappers restaurant in town.
I don't go
out. Is that a good place?
So I don't know.
Food's really good.
Never been.
Bartender's fantastic.
Summer, what was your previous job? This is literally, this show's gone from sex
Good
to
Fix Cafe.
This, and now we're at this.
I never worked at Burger Fuel.
Didn't you?
No, it was Devil Burger.
Oh, true. Yeah, sorry.
Do you work at Devil Burger?
Yeah, in Queenstown.
See,
3 months.
I've had Devil Burger once in my life. Not a fan.
No, I'm not a fan of that either, but a lot of people find it hard to believe.
The bread's really stale.
The devil relish is not that good, but a lot of people like it, and they compare us to Ferg Burger. Yeah,
when we went to the one in Invercargill, and I think the fries we had were good, and then the stuff on it's just the bread tasted like 3-day-old supermarket bread, and
sounds like Invercargill.
The burger was a bit I don't know, I'm picky with my burgers.
Burger Fuel's way better.
Absolutely, Burger Fuel's great.
It's not even a competition.
For a chain of burgers, it's actually really decent. My favourite...
most definitely.
I like Ferg Burger. Ferg Burger was good. It lived up to its reputation.
Never tried it.
But the best burger I've ever had in my entire life was in this country, and that was in Christchurch at Bacon Brothers. So good.
Bacon Brothers, everyone.
Bacon Brothers, everyone. We had the Bacon Brothers on the show, Kevin and his brother, great. But the funny story with that is that when I researched the Bacon Brothers in the lead up to interviewing them, I found that this place existed. So the sole reason we went to Bacon Brothers in Christchurch is because of that research. And we went there and it lived up to just heaven. That was the best burger that's ever been in my mouth. Oh, burgers, bread.
I want to try this burger.
Let's go to Christchurch right now. 7-hour drive.
Trip. Let's go.
It's the time right now. We can be there by 8 in the morning. Boom. Breakfast burgers.
Don't have work till 10.
Pleasure to have you both on the show.
It has been magnificent.
I'm sure we will do this again.
I burped.
She did.
The mic.
Yeah, it's like having Mallory on the show all the time.
I farted like 2 minutes ago, but I muted my mic first.
You muted my phone. Now, just everyone like us on Facebook, follow us, Twitter, subscribe, all the relevant things. Now, we close out this show by saying a very famous catchphrase. Everyone said it in Hobart. You walk down the street and everyone said it because it was so famous.
Electric feel?
Yes. The saying is, and you're gonna say it for me. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and then you're gonna say a word each. And so the saying is, keep sucking those oranges, Hobart, and good night. Okay. So if one of you, if like Jamie said keep, and then you say sucking those.
Okay.
So yep, right. You ready?
Keep
sucking
those
oranges,
Hobart,
and
good night.
Good night. Good job. Well done.
Thank you very much.
10 points.